Bugs,
Ella.
flash me.
Ella, check this out. I hate this shit so much.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my god.
that's Loki on a magic card.
I picked the worst time to grab a sip of water. That
Yeah.
is that is Loki on a fucking magic card called propaganda.
Yeah. Which feels kind of relevant to today's topic.
So relevant.
Yeah, politics tends to involve a little bit of propaganda, and if you take a propaganda at this fucking card, vote Loki, dog.
Believe. Okay, all right, now this is so Midwest emo of me, but I do love how his horns highlight that the best part of believe is in fact the lie.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's I
yeah.
it's good art on a magic card. Like for what it's worth, this is very well rendered Loki propaganda posters.
And creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control. So you have to pay a toll.
Yeah, you have to pay the troll toll to get in this boy's hole.
The, this is the most politics card I've ever seen. How do you keep doing this, Bugs? You keep just you find the most, you literally have cardboard for everything.
I unfortunately have cardboard for everything though. Like my brain is 82% cardboard by volume.
And my brain is 82% wrestling by volume.
Together, we
Ah,
fight crime.
together we fight crime and we do the show. Hit the button.
Smash that like button.
Woo! We're here. Hello, Ella Tailor again. We are back with more Everything is Wrestling, which, it's a fun little conceit, but really it's just we talk to our experty type friends and make gay jokes. And by we, I mean my co-host and good buddy friend, Bugs Maytrix. Say hi, Bugs.
Hi, Bugs.
Yay, Bugs. Today we have kind of very much sort of the seed of this theory of everything, if you will. This conversation is also kind of part of why I got into podcasting in general, because I was like, I would just love to sit down with this person and talk about this someday. And it's taken many years, and in the meantime, they are my client slash boss and on the buddy. So we have the woman who wrote the book on this shit, Josephine Riesman. Hello, welcome.
Hello. That was so flattering. I wasn't expecting to get all teary-eyed while you were talking, but that was very sweet of you. Thank you.
Oh, buddy. Oh, it's gonna get worse.
No.
Well, so yeah, we're talking about how politics is wrestling. You have a bit of history in this subject, I'd say.
I do. I feel like outdated in my expertise because for the listeners who don't know, I wrote a book that came out in 2023 called Ringmaster: Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America.
Go read it.
Which is a biography of wrestling emperor Vince McMahon, but also was very much a politics book, masquerading as just a biography, where I was talking about how kayfabe had always been part of politics, and that the kind of kayfabe that Vince McMahon didn't invent but sort of enshrined, which I coined the term Neokayfabe for, has now infected contemporary politics, like very recent politics, to great detriment to all. So I wrote that, but I feel a little out of date because that came out in 2023. And by the time it came out, I was already out of date. I'd already had a goddamn book contract for my third book, which is now coming out this fall, which has nothing to do with any of this. It is a politics book in some ways, but it is not.
You should tell people what it is, because
So I'll plug it right now, and then we can talk about it again at the end. But I have a biography of the musician Beck coming out. That book is called The Last Temptation of Beck, The Untold Story of a Pop Messiah. It's coming out with Simon & Schuster's Atria imprint on November 17th. 2 months after Beck puts out his first album, 2 months after Beck puts out his first album in 7 years.
Holy
always get the
fuck.
numbers and
It's been 7 years? Holy shit.
It's been 7 years since he's put out an album since Hyperspace, which nobody really paid attention to.
Yeah.
Largely because it came out like right before the pandemic hit, and it was just sort of bad timing in general. But yeah, a new album's coming out, Ride Lonesome, on September 18th, and then almost exactly 2 months later, on November 17th, my book comes out. So
did you have to call him and be like, can we like orchestrate this? Can my people work with
yeah,
me?
I had nothing to do with that. I have no comment, but most importantly, no contact. I have no idea whether there was. I have no idea if my book played any role in the timing of that album announcement, which just happened. The announcement.
Oh wow!
So,
oh wow!
I have no idea.
That's amazing. I was joking, but that's kind of cool.
That's insane timing. That's so fucking cool.
They could have released it any time.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not proposing a theory. This is people have made this joke to me, and I'm like, well, for all I know, it's accurate. Like, the book is an unauthorized biography. It is not a book where Beck had any say in what was in the book. Nor did he respond to my extensive attempts to cut comment from him, although I did interview him for MTV exactly 20 years prior to the release of this book, almost down to the week, because I won a contest that MTV's college station, MTVU, was running. So that, to date, is the only interview I've done with Beck. But I talked to a lot of people who knew Beck, a lot of people. So anyway.
Josie, if I've told you lately, you're like one of the coolest people I know.
Yeah, genuinely. Like,
and I know, I know so many cool people too. like, not to like knock it down a peg, but like, it's weird. I somehow know a lot of cool people. You're up there.
I know you do.
It's weird. It's fucking strange.
Well, it's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I don't know about y'all, but my body's ready for this Beck book.
Yeah, Beck book. Yeah, if you want to get it pre-order in, listeners, beckbook.com. Very easy to remember. Beckbook.com is the URL where you can find out how to pre-order.
So, but Bugs, because I'm a producer at heart, I think I heard you yelp something. Did you have something to add?
No, I love Beck, so I'm very stoked for this.
Oh. It's gonna be really cool. I don't wanna give anything away because let me put it this way. The last 2 books I wrote, I'm very proud of, but a lot of it was collating information people already had reported and presenting it in a new way with a new spin. Both my first book, True Believer, which was about Stan Lee of Marvel Comics, then Ringmaster. Both of them there was definitely stuff I found out that no one knew, but a lot of it was like, well, I can't really dig new ground here because it's already been so dug. I just have to come up with a good spin on the stuff, or an interesting spin on what's already been done. The Beck book, trust nothing you've read before about Beck, is all I will say.
Holy hell. Well, all right.
Yeah, it's a very much I didn't say the untold story of a pop messiah for no reason. It's pretty much all stuff that has not been reported before. I mean, there's like connective tissue of things that have been reported, like
but like
Lollapalooza or whatever. But even there, I have behind the scenes stuff from Lollapalooza that'll blow your mind. So anyway,
oh, that's so sick. Awesome. Fuck yeah.
So excited.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I'm very excited for it to be out there in the world. But yes, before that, I wrote the Vince McMahon book. So I will try. I am not up to date on wrestling lately. I have not been watching AEW or WWE or indie anything.
Yeah.
The closest I come to it is like just being on Blue Sky in general. Like you're sort
bringing it in.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of AEW memery that just always comes trickling through on Blue Sky. Yeah. WWE not so much anymore. I was watching WWE pretty consistently up until till like late 2024 or something, and then I was just like, why am I watching this now?
That's like, about when I fell off too. That's where I was just like, I just can't do it.
There was a period in like 2023, 24 when it seemed like they were maybe turning things around weirdly. And then I don't even want to comment on it.
And then not so much.
No. the Sami Zayn bloodline stuff got my family at the time, no longer together now, but like that's like what got kiddo into wrestling, was like starting to watch along with me when I was paying attention to that.
Right.
And like he loves Asuka because, of course, who wouldn't love Asuka?
Who wouldn't love Asuka? There was a great stable, but
yeah, but it got to the point where I was just, I can't. I
can't.
I mean, I stopped. That's why I stopped doing the Monday. It's part of why I stopped doing the Monday night show. Because the first time I tried to have this conversation with you, I was still doing the Monday Night Wars rewatch, and I'd saved the Scott Hall coming out episode for you. But that's how I found out that you were moving. It's because you're like, I fucking can't.
Right, but sorry about that, but I gotta move to Portugal. Right? Yeah, I fled the country and live in Portugal now.
I refer to you now as America's greatest export.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet of you. I hope to not be a permanent export. I'm sort of seeing how the midterms go, but
riding out.
I moved here because it felt unsafe, and I think a lot of my feeling of unsafety came out of having researched for Ringmaster. I just sort of saw a lot of the underbelly of what makes America work, and I kept telling it was so funny when I would do interviews in the couple of years after Ringmaster came out. Like, it comes out in March 23. And then the paperback came out in March 24, and around then was also when Vince was getting forced out of the company.
Yeah.
So people kept asking me about it.
The first time.
Right. No, the second time. That was when he was like actually really ousted. And so I was getting interviewed a lot. But the point is to remember is this is 23 and 24, and I'm saying like early 24. Because January is when he gets ousted. And every time I got interviewed, people would be like, so you think this is the end of Vince McMahon? And I'd be like, well, I think this does not help his criminal, the DOJ case against him. Like, I think it helps the DOJ case against him, doesn't help him in his fight against the DOJ. Mm-hmm. But if Donald Trump wins in November of 2024, then that becomes completely irrelevant because there's no DOJ that's going to prosecute him.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Literally people would laugh. They would laugh. And I'm like, you serious? Like, we already did this once. You're laughing at the idea of him becoming president again, and sure freaking enough, here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's, oh my God, that hits so many things that I was already going to ask you about. So that's so sick. But because like just exactly that, all of that, and the fact that like. Because it's a great transition into what I wanted to kind of start the conversation with too, is how I met you, which is the fact that I put all this together from first principles, and I was hanging out on Twitter. I was getting back into wrestling. I was getting back into wrestling for the first time, and because of COVID. And in the process, transing my gender. Yeah,
you and many others. AEW was really cooking. WWE was doing that weird silent stuff. There was a lot happening during early COVID.
It took a while for me to get to AEW, but yeah, my whole thing was I went back and watched the 20 years that I'd skipped of pay-per-views because they were all on Peacock. Yeah, so I caught up and I was like, Jesus Christ.
There was some good stuff in that 20 years.
There was some really good shit, and there was also some wild shit.
Some real misses. Yeah, I will agree with that.
We got God is Wrestling will happen, Bugs, and
think I was actually going to say that is both the highlight and the low light of the entire thing.
Because I'm going to save it for the listeners, but I love, Josie, that you knew exactly what I was talking about.
No,
because I will share that story when we get to it, listeners.
When you get to it,
yes. Because so I'm watching this, I'm going, everyone talks about like both sides are the same, and I'm like, that's not really true, but in politics, but also it is. And the way I would try as I was getting more, I was at that, like during Trump's first term and all that, like I was very much almost like a shit lib because I was getting back into caring again because I was, didn't have to for the longest time. Right. Yay, white male privilege. Right. Except for the whole closet thing. That's
what are you gonna do?
So I'm putting watching all this and kind of putting it all together and going I hate that politics is just like wrestling. And whether you're a good guy or the bad guy, in the end, somehow Vince McMahon's making money.
That's
like
exactly
that's
right.
how
Yeah.
that's how I would put it to people. And I tweeted that out one day, and they're like, "Oh, like Josie's book," and I and what the fuck's a Josie? like what are we talking about?
I forgot that was how that happened.
Yeah,
Oh
and someone
man,
like,
that's
yeah, and
so
I was like,
funny.
holy shit, like, oh my god, I gotta check this out. And then the rest
That
is like
wasn't
Blue
even that
Sky and all
long
that.
ago. My God.
Yeah, right. That was like a little bit before Blue Sky became an option. That was over on Twitter still.
Right. That's like
And
early
then
23. Yeah, and God,
yeah,
I'd
and then
like
we met
barely
on Blue Sky.
transitioned at that point. I
Yep.
I like that's crazy. Wow.
So yeah, that's how I discovered you, even and like all of this. So then I read, listened to the book, read the book. I was like, fuck, yeah, that's it. That's all of it. Cool. Well,
Thank
Josie
you.
did it. Cool. I was like, sweet. I don't have to dig into that any further. Cool. Yeah.
There's
Work's
so
done.
much more to say though. Like I really wanted the legacy of that book, if there was one, to be like that it would open up studies of kayfabe to a wider academic, journalistic, and just popular audience. Because the
Yeah.
concept of kayfabe is something that exists in between fact and fiction. That's not quite a lie and not quite the truth. But that's where we all exist pretty much most of our lives, not in pure lies or pure truth.
Yeah.
And kayfabe is just sort of everywhere. What's really dangerous is this sort of perversion of kayfabe, this self-aware kayfabe that had emerged, I think, really first in its purest form with stuff like the Scott Hall arrival and with Steve Austin on ECW doing his promos about how terribly the industry has screwed him, that sort of thing. Vince McMahon eventually catches on to it and decides, like, okay, well, this is what wrestling's going to be. And he's already responsible for the fact that it has to happen because he killed old kayfabe by revealing it in
for the tax break, folks. Yeah.
Right, for the tax breaks and to get out of lawsuits that he was
Yep.
implicated in. We're just joking around, don't worry. So, he ends up embracing this new form of kayfabe that other people have invented, but that he really enshrines. And it's an idea of the truth where it's not so much, the way I always describe it in interviews is like old kayfabe, and this was true in old politics prior to Trump as well. You had a big lie, but it was a big flat lie that you could stand on and build something on. And that lie in wrestling was, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, whatever you see tonight is real. Believe in it. Believe that everything you see tonight is real. That was the lie. It was very simple. And similarly, in American politics, you had a big lie, which was, everybody, you are popularly represented. We have popular sovereignty here, It is democracy.
You betcha.
And that was a lie.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing: in both cases, those were lies you could do stuff with, and it was lies. They were lies that like everybody was kind of in on. You were in on it to a certain extent, or whatever relevant way you need to be in on it, and you could shift things around within that system. There was some degree of at least competitiveness, at least in wrestling, because you had multiple, in the institutions out there you could go wrestle for. In American politics, there was more volatility and mix-up in parties. But what we have now is this thing where instead the presentation is not, ladies and gentlemen and folks of all ages, everything you see tonight is real. It's everything you see tonight is freaking fake. It's all a bunch of bullshit, except for the parts you want to be real, which could be anything. So be on the lookout. And by the way, here's a documentary that I made about what's happening behind the scenes that's even faker than the stuff I say in front of the scenes. But because it seems like it's behind the scenes, you stupid idiots will think it's the truth. That's what Neokayfabe is telling everybody everything is fake except what you want to believe is true, which is the most dangerous thing you can tell a country.
Yeah. Choose your own reality.
But that's what happened in wrestling first.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, like, from watching wrestling in the 21st century, especially, it turned into this game of like, well, what am I really seeing? Am I seeing something? Am I seeing the Montreal Screwjob all over again, where somebody genuinely is surprised? Am I watching something like the pipe bomb promo where I'm going to find out a decade later that unambiguously it was completely a work? Like what
Yeah.
is
Oh
this?
God, nothing. There's nothing to me that is more on like encapsulates Neokayfabe than the concept of a pipe bomb.
Oh my
Uh,
God, yes.
the pipe bomb interview, because the one everyone thinks of Punks, right?
Yeah.
Punks is not my favorite work shoot. And I know this story.
What's your favorite work shoot?
Oh,
Tell me. I'm sure you talked about it on the show before, but I'd love to know.
well, I only know about the story about it because of what it was probably another work shoot, which you get your shoot interviews, and Paul Heyman.
Right, you never know.
Yeah, Paul Heyman talks about how one day they're on the plane and fucking Michael Hayes, Freebird's
Yeah.
over. He's like, "Oh, you love these work shoots, boss. You know who you want someone to rip you a new asshole. You know who rip you a new asshole? Paulie."
Yeah.
And Vince is like, "Oh, yeah, you want to get me?" And Paulie's just like, "You fucking see, all
Yeah.
right." And it was SmackDown, and he goes out and he gives that pipe bomb on him
Sure.
where he's just like, "You fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
You made professional wrestling a dirty word, you bastard." And you can
Yeah.
tell he's out there just saying
Just
all
saying
the
what he
things
actually
that he
thinks. Yeah.
actually feels. Yeah, he's just saying what he actually feels, and he ripped this man to shreds, and the look on his face. Holy shit. That's also probably the moment where you realize just how terrifyingly evil Vince McMahon is.
Well, that's the thing
Because
because
he held his shit together.
hold this shit together, and you find out after these things always that it's like Vince thought it was funny. When I
He
always think
literally
of,
asked for it.
right, he specifically asked for it. Like I think of now when you had Mamdani visiting the Oval
Mm,
Office
mm.
to for noble purposes to fuck I can't even God, so much news has happened. I can't remember what the accomplishment was, but there was like some major policy accomplishment. Oh, it was freeing Mahmoud Khalil. That was it. Something like that. I can't remember, but he got a big policy victory. But the point was the press conference. That
Yep.
was what was interesting.
Yes. Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
you had that moment where somebody asked him, "Hey, Mayor Mamdani, your Mayor-elect Mamdani, whatever it was, you called Trump a fascist in the past. Would you stand by that?" And Mamdani pauses for a second, and you can see that he's had it as an answer prepared. I'm sure it'd be a very good answer, but
Yeah.
Trump just interrupts him and goes, "No, just say yes. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be done faster."
They'll love it. Yeah. Just go.
They'll
They'll
love it,
wait it up.
basically.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to me. He's like, fine. Say yes that I'm a fascist. I don't care. What do I care? I make money in the end, whether or not you call me a fascist.
Yep.
Because like in that moment, in that way that he does, and he can keep doing, and no one seems to care. He just gave the whole fucking game away.
He gave away the whole
Uh,
game.
he gave
Mamdani, I don't
this
think is
whole-
necessarily like as captured yet by the game, but like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like he's part of you. You cannot. And I got nervous when I had a party for for the book launch because I decided to have a professional wrestling show in Los Angeles during WrestleMania
Oh,
week because the book was getting released during LA Mania week. It was just too
hell
good.
yeah.
The timing was too perfect. But one of the wrestlers, it was just like indie folks, and one of them asked me
Yeah.
to, have like a moment in the one of the matches, and I did, and I kind of blew the spot. I like did it was botchamania in there. I like could not remember what I was supposed to say, but I'm kind of glad that I failed at it because I did not get a huge pop. And I know
Yeah.
that that shit is addictive. And once you are part of kayfabe, whether it's politics or wrestling, it is real hard to extricate yourself. That is one thing
Mhm.
I've learned from all these interviews. It is once you have joined the kayfabe of either the politics club or the wrestling club, if you really don't have any morals, but you just want to feel that rush, oh
Oh,
boy, those are places you can go to feel the rush of being treated like a god or having the powers of one.
yeah. And I don't know. I think that in controlled bursts, that's good. Like it's kind of like what perform art
Sure.
and a lot of stuff can be in
Absolutely.
controlled
I'm not
bursts.
anti-wrestling. I love
Oh
wrestling.
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I'm not saying anti, but like I know what you're saying because like yeah, it can be addiction, and every time it does, it ends the same fucking way. That's why we have so many tragedies in wrestling.
Yes, and politics eats you alive as well. You
Yes.
have to like do your bit and get out. Like there are very few, just in the way that there are very few Bret Harts in wrestling.
Mm.
There are very few Bret Harts in politics too.
Well said.
And even Bret Hart is not Bret Hart. I love Bret Hart for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
As an interview subject, he was very generous with his time, and I didn't discover anything about him that was horrific. But like he was in wrestling. I mean, he defended Vince McMahon against rape allegations from Rita Chatterton. He eventually,
Yeah.
to his
He
credit, went
recanted.
back on that and apologized to Rita, and said he was wrong. But for like decades, he was defending Vince McMahon against rape allegations, and he's the best guy there is, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And he won a lot of points back for me when he did that. The worst things I've ever heard about him were in his ex-wife's book. And I mean,
Yes.
understandably so.
Right.
But I mean, I think we can all agree, you more safely than us, that he has the greatest mind.
Comparatively, I'm just saying comparatively.
And he was right in saying that he woke up one day and had the realization of the truth. America stinks.
Yes, that he was
does.
right about. That was
about.
that was another example of kind of a work shoot insofar as I mean that whole saga of '97 and Brett.
Mhm.
It's amazing how many times Vince just said, "Go out there and say what you really think about me and or Shawn Michaels."
Yeah.
You know, or America.
Yeah.
And by the end, Brett was so pissed off about everything that it was easy to get him to riff in a beautiful way because he was just speaking his truth, as it were. Vince pushed him to the limit.
Right? Oh my God, like the worst director. God, it's fucking crazy. So yeah, holy
Politics,
shit.
anyway, propaganda.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be talking about vote Loki, right?
Yeah, vote Loki, vote Loki.
Vote Loki, yes, believe. No, that was just a fucking cold open card. But no, this is amazing, and like I don't know, like yeah, I feel like I've been taking a lot of it. Bugs, do you have any questions? Ask a few more before we let our guests
go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it.
Live your life.
Right. Oh God, girl, I'm trying. I had a few things I was like, what would I ask Josie now? Because I thought about like it's been so long since probably you've been in this space specifically. You've been in Backland. Also, you're not in the country anymore. What does the state of Neokayfabe like look like for you from the other side of the pond? Like when you look back over here,
It's a great question. I feel like in Europe they're still rocking Neokayfabe, but in the US I almost feel like a new stage has moved on.
I didn't necessity.
Weird. Ironically enough, I was quoted coining this term first auf Deutsch in German for an Austrian leftist journal that interviewed me about Neokayfabe, and then promptly went out of business. The issue that featured my profile was the last issue they ever published. What are you going to do? But
sounds like journalism.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. But what I told them was America has moved on to what I would call necro-kayfabe, which if kayfabe is everything you see tonight is real, neo-kayfabe is everything you see tonight is fake except for the parts you want to believe are real. Necro-kayfabe is I will tell whatever lie is necessary to make you all claw each other to death with your bare hands while I sit and watch. And I've locked the doors. Have a fun time.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Like that's I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's the logic that the Republicans are operating with. Is just, well, we've locked all the doors and we're just going to keep lying to you until you all kill each other or we kill you first.
Jesus, I mean, you literally, like, I had, like, one more, like, kind of two-parter question, and you just sort of answered it, dude. Like,
I've thought about this a lot. I need to write an essay about necro-kayfabe at some point, but it's too depressing. Every time I sit down and start writing about necro-kayfabe, I'm like, why am I even writing this? No one listened to me about neo-kayfabe. I didn't prevent Trump from getting elected.
No, that's the finish I thought I started but rambled away from. Like, that's why I stopped doing the Monday night shows, because I was like, this is so fucking depressing. Like, it's all I don't want.
After a while, you're like, oh man, this is some really grim shit. Like,
like this just isn't fun anymore. Like the first couple times.
I want to write Ringmaster 2 someday because I did not cover Vince's whole life. I mean, Ringmaster ends in 1999 because I had a very strict word count that I was not to go over by my contract. And Vince has lived too much life, like way more life than you'd expect or whatever. And
Yeah.
he has cheated death countless times and been a participant in or outcome of a lot of American history and now world history. So I ended it in 99 and I'm like, I've always been intending to go back and go to the material I got about times after that and do more research and do Ringmaster 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got to be ready for that. It's going to be so hard to go back into that world, especially knowing where the Vince McMahon story leads. Because I swear to God, I don't know if I could have written this book, could have stomached writing this book, if the Janelle Grant allegations
Yeah.
were already out by 2019 when I first brainstormed the idea of doing it. Like,
Oh.
if I'd known the stuff that we now have pretty strong evidence of, shall we say, the allegations,
Yeah.
I don't know that I could have faced his story. I'm glad I didn't know because I think his story needs to be faced and confronted. But I don't know that I would have had the strength to look at it if I'd known that, if you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, like, how do you, it's like you go into it and, like, well, I would equate it to kind of like when we joke, I've joked forever about Vince McMahon is history's greatest monster. Like, and like people like don't even realize that like he's like probably up there, like top five, if not top three, like some of the most evil people of all time.
In recent,
Like,
in recent entertainment history, he's been involved in a truly astounding number of crimes, alleged crimes,
yeah.
and just general misconduct. Oftentimes, stuff that we saw on live television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but that's why I get to is that I said all that before that came out. And where you just
Right.
just based off of what you knew about his business ethics, we've talked about Black Saturday on this show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we did the Roman Empire as wrestling, and I was like, well,
No.
there's only one.
Yeah.
I was like, there's
Yeah.
only one Caesar I can think of.
That's
So
right.
gave a little history there. So like, yeah, it's like it, and you know, I wanted to touch on this too because we touched on it a little bit in our last episode. What's going on right now in the Fed with CMLL and TKO and all that we talked about last week is in fact, it's funny that you call it Neokayfabe because what's going on right now is the ghost of what Vince made wrestling, like the ghost of the Vince McMahon project is continuing
Yeah.
in this. And it's disgusting.
Right. There's this disgusting zombie version of what you liked during 1997 through 2005 or whatever. You
Yeah,
know?
but more so than that, it's the business stuff too, the way the conquest, the buying of
I get
AAA.
what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what was the wording in the contract that we read that article about bugs?
It was like the
The post biological
yes. It was like
shit,
post
like
biopolitics. That was like you no longer own yourself. You like your likeness is now owned forever thanks to like
yeah,
AI generation and image control. And
Yeah, your post biological life. That stuff was insane.
yeah. So like basically doing fake diesel and fake razor,
Yeah.
finally legally,
Yeah, you
like
can just do it. Yeah.
yeah, like he's literally saying no, I wasn't kidding. You know,
Yeah.
like because it's been long enough, and it's you realize, and it plays back to that thing that you realize that all the things that he was doing and saying and being was all true. Like he was all like eventually, if you
That was
let
the
me
weird thing.
go long enough, I will do all of this for real.
Right,
If you
I'll do
let
all
me
this
do
for
it
real.
long.
But what's interesting was the stuff that, like, because it's kayfabe and we're in the zone of kayfabe, it's always never quite true or untrue. It's that murky water in between.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I did the book, like, yes, he was living out all this true stuff about what his real business practices were like, but it completely. What I would argue is, and I do argue this in the book, is that what he was really doing when he was playing Mr. McMahon, his character, was not even so much being a parody of his own business practices. It was that his business practices and his character were both parodies of his own father's business practices.
Yes.
yeah,
he was making fun and expanding on and submitting to the evil that Vince McMahon Sr. had committed. And Vince McMahon Sr. is dead, so I can't get in trouble for libeling him. But Vincent James McMahon was a son of a bitch in a lot of ways. Like, there are some things that are on the record about that guy that are real messed up. And down to the fact that he abandoned his sons.
Yeah,
you know,
Yep.
like he has these kids, and then with Vicky Hanner, and then he just ups and leaves, doesn't stick around past the christening. And
can you imagine that fucking domino has led us to that?
Let's let it to this. That Vincent James McMahon came back from, was like stationed in North Carolina for the war, meets a married woman, has an affair, gets her knocked up, brings her to New York. It doesn't go that well with his family. So he boots her back down to North Carolina and he sticks her out in New York. And that's that. And then 12 years later, his second wife, with whom he has a loving new family that he adopted, wasn't even his blood family. Vince Sr. adopts a family after having abandoned his former wife and 2 children.
I think I want one now.
Yeah, whatever. One in, one out. His second wife basically bullied him into having any kind of relationship with the Vince we know, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Yeah. Juanita is the second wife. To her credit, was like, or maybe not to her credit. She's like, you got to have a relationship with this kid. And for a while, that turns into 12 years old, little Vinnie Lupton finding out that he's really a McMahon and going to New York to see his father's empire. And he can't get his father's love through family. He sees that his father already has a family that he's taken in and loves them and doesn't give any to Vince. So Vinny's just like, okay, I guess I'll get good at the business. And he got way too good at the business.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. One of the other wonderful things we have, I mentioned you as a client/boss. I edit your podcast, Here Comes Tomorrow.
Oh, right.
And
Here Comes Tomorrow. Yes, go to herecomes-tomorrow.net if you're interested in the X-Men or comics or whatever.
Well, I'll give you another shot to boost everything, but we should start heading towards the exit here. But I was like, it's the same as like magic and chaos magic. You get good, if you get too good at it, it will destroy you.
It'll utterly destroy you.
Yeah.
No, if you get good at the dark arts of kayfabe, it will turn you into something you don't want to be. Like, this was the craziest thing. I shouldn't say this. There were so many crazy things from that book research, but one of the craziest things was they tracked down in North Carolina, in rural North Carolina, Shell Davis, who was Vinnie Lupton's best friend in 6th grade. 6th grade. And the year after 6th grade, he moves away, and then within that year, he meets his father. So this guy, knew Vinnie Lupton as a kid in 6th grade who was very nice, who was just a quiet, sort of well-meaning child, generally well-liked, not a bully. Yeah. And he hadn't met, even then he'd gone through a lot of abuse from his stepfather and his mother, but he had not met Vince Sr. yet. And within a year, he would move away, meet Vince Sr., and then subsequent to that, stories about young Vince McMahon start to get gradually weirder and weirder from people who knew him. Like, there was something about getting involved in the business and having a father in the business and getting to know Dr. Jerry Graham and seeing what it's like to be a heel. These things were very dangerous for a child. It was, I sound like Jeff Goldblum here in Jurassic Park. Like, you kept asking your wrestling promoters whether they could, but not whether they should,
Yes. Oh my God. When I do work with a startup of wonderful queer folks, and we try to, and we do like social media kind of stuff, and every once, we're always trying to think of what's a way we could get a little more money, and like come up with a fun thing, a service or something we could sell, and because of how I am as a person, and I'm constantly talking about this shit, eventually one of them will always be like, well, we should start a wrestling promotion. And my answer every time is I had less ethical problems working for churches than I did starting a wrestling promotion. And if anyone I know who works at the local wrestling promotion is hearing this right now, I love you, John. Mwah. Not you. You're perfect.
No,
Sweet baby
if
angel.
you can, if people can do it, God bless, because we need more
Yeah.
wrestling in this world. I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
Look,
Ooh.
like I'm a freaking landlord. We're renting out our house, and I'm more comfortable being a landlord, which is like a genuinely evil thing to be.
Yes.
We try to be as ethical as we can than I would ever feel being a wrestling promoter. Even if I was the nicest wrestling promoter in the whole world, it would corrupt me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you're being okay. So you want me to literally be God? Cool, awesome. Let's go.
Great, cool. I not only that, you're Zeus. You're the king of the gods and the queen of the gods. You're telling everybody. You're telling all the gods what they have to do, and then you sit there in your throne and go, "Whoa!" And if you're Vince McMahon, you actually make them wrestle you and give you the belt. Like that's the amazing thing, you know.
It's all so fucked up. So yeah, this has like been one of our.
Wait. I have to pop in an endorsement. Because here's the thing. Here's the bright side. At least for now. In my hometown of Providence, Rhode Island. I have a lot of hometowns, but it's the town I was living in, where my father is from and where my grandfather is from. Providence, Rhode Island is currently having an election for mayor, where the very right-wing Democrat mayor of Providence, which is the capital of Rhode Island, is in a primary that is very competitive against a guy named David Morales, who is trying to unseat him. He is a state representative and former local pro wrestling champion. David Morales used to wrestle as David Morales, a corrupt politician.
I think I knew about this.
Yeah, he got a little bit of press. Yeah. It was this local southeastern New England promotion. He got a little bit of press for it. He was a sitting state rep while he was also the sitting champion belt holder. While he was the belt holder and a state rep, he interviewed me for the Providence book launch of Ringmaster. So I'm very biased here. He's a friend that I've known for a number of years, but he's currently running and using all of the charm and theatricality that he gained in his years of studying the ring arts to try and push a really progressive agenda. It's kind of wild. I mean, just the other day he released, not to get you too mired down in politics of this kind, but just the other day he released this video where he came out way swinging in favor of this ballot initiative that would force Providence to divest from any companies that work in genocide or apartheid, which obviously is pointed very closely at Israel. And the video is him with this local Jewish Voice for Peace activist talking, and it's him. It's not even him saying vote for me. It's just him saying, hey, everybody, never again means never again for anybody. Sign the petition for this ballot initiative. And it's like, damn. Like, this is the kind of courage you need, and something like wrestling can give you that courage and that ability to communicate.
Yeah, that I say heel, or when a face is in trouble and getting jumped, the heel the face locker room empties out, and they come out and save their ass. Use that mentality, like you're not making it about you. You're just doing it because it's right.
It's right. Exactly. You're doing the right thing, but also with an eye to the theatricality of the optics. He knows that he's a guy people are paying attention to on social media. He knows he just got written up in some national profiles about like who's going to be the next Mamdani, because he's one of these Mamdani wave type democratic socialists, and he's using that platform for a thing that's really worthwhile, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the Neokayfabe of it, is he's recognizing the optics. He's doing it because he knows it's going to look good, but what's the message he's sending is that I'm not doing this because it looks good. I'm doing it because it's the right fucking thing to do.
Right, and even if it looks good, but in parentheses, and I know it looks good. And that's fine. That's fine. That's how politics works, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
That's the world we live in. But I just didn't want to end on too depressing a note, because I do think the intersection of politics and wrestling is a field that needs more progressives entering it. Because look, there are so many progressive wrestling fans. Oh, yeah. It's just that the wrestlers themselves very often have been, not in no small part because of Vince McMahon's personal empire, have largely been disproportionately Republican. You know, we have a lot of conservative guys who come out of the WWE system and even the AEW system to an extent, but especially for many years out of the WCW and WWE system. And I don't think that's it doesn't mean that wrestling is synonymous with conservative politics at all.
And it,
You know?
in wrestling, the art form and wrestling the community has never been actually just all conservatives. I don't think. I just, you're just quiet about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's always been, we say all the time, wrestling is queer, wrestling is gay. It always fucking has been.
Well, yeah, it's not just because people are touching each other and wearing bright colors. They have to. I wrote a whole essay about this because they have to show vulnerability. That's the whole point.
It's theater,
it's theater, and you have to show the full range of human emotions, which men are taught not to do. Etc.
I bring up that essay almost as much as I bring up Ringmaster, Josie. Thank you for that one.
Oh, thank you. Well, I wanted to read something really quick that this reminded me of, which was from the essay that I sort of stole a lot of my thesis from for the Ringmaster book.
I got nothing else going on. I just don't want to take up too much of your time. So by all means, please.
No, let me just read this and then I'll get out of here because I'm talking myself hoarse, but that's just because I enjoy talking to you so much. But there's this beautiful portion of this essay called "The Last Wrestling Piece," which was written by Richard Meltzer, the first rock critic, the first professional rock critic. Richard Meltzer's a genius. He's become a friend. I'm honored to be a correspondent with him. But he wrote this essay called "The Last Wrestling Piece" in 1985, right after the first WrestleMania. He had been a huge wrestling head since he was a single-digit age kid in Queens. No, not Queens. It was like Queens or Brooklyn. And he saw what Vince was doing for what it was at the time. And no one else did, really. Even within the system, within the wrestling system, they saw him wrecking things, but they didn't have a vision of what he was trying to build. But Richard got it. Like Meltzer, no relation to Dave Meltzer. Just confusingly enough, Richard Meltzer has no relation to Dave Meltzer.
I was going to say, Richard, don't call me Dave Meltzer.
Don't call me Dave Meltzer, yes. But he totally predicted where this was all headed. But the thing is, he opens the Last Wrestling Piece, which you can read on the official Ringmaster website. I was given permission by Richard to publish for the first time ever, you can read the full uncut director's cut of this essay at ringmasterthebook.com. Go to the free extras section. He opens it with this section where he goes like, I hold these truths to be self-evident, where it's like this sort of dictation of the, like the Declaration of Independence, except about wrestling. And the last item, number 12, is he says something so beautiful and tragic. By shilling for itself on priorly occupied turf, like Letterman, Saturday Night Live, the sports sections of major metropolitan dailies, wrestling actually finds itself in a position to catalytically undermine an incredibly stupid and docile nation's belief structure regarding everything, to effect the removal of the master program ring from a people's collective nose, as it were. A nous la liberté, wrestling style. And then the last sentence. But such is far, far from its bag of intentions, and it sure don't want snot on its hands.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
But like,
wow.
But these Meltzer's right. The theory of wrestling is very powerful. If you know the arts of kayfabe, you can do a lot with it. It may tempt you to turn to the dark side, but like, this stuff does have the ability to overthrow the master program, because once you know these cheat codes, these are the only cheat codes that the people in power actually know. Yep. The only cheat codes they know are Neokayfabe and having a lot of money. Yep. You and I don't have the amount of money they have, but we can know Neokayfabe.
And if you work Neokayfabe, you get the money.
Yeah, and then you get the women, and then you get the women.
Yeah, first we get the jobs, then we get the khakis. Yeah, no, baseball.
Jesus.
Look, I'm a millennial. Fuck. A neurodivergent one at that. What a way to end it, Josie. You're so good at this.
Damn. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is really fun. I forgot that I enjoy talking about this. I got so sick of talking about wrestling and politics after a while, but you people are actually smart. Unlike 90% of the time I get interviewed for, like, when the book was coming out, I had all these international outlets coming to interview me, and you could always tell when it was an international outlet from a country that had no exposure to wrestling at all.
Yeah.
And it would just be the most 101 conversation. And I was working so hard in those conversations to make sure they didn't walk away with the lesson that wrestling equals conservatism, because that's not what I'm trying to
Right.
say at all. But like that
Yeah.
was very often how, when the write-up would come out, I'd be like, well, fucking great. They completely missed the point of what I was saying. They're like, how wrestling turned America fascist. And it's like, it wasn't that wrestling did it. It was that
It said America's fascists, and
fascists learned from wrestling how you can dismantle reality, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Bugs.
wrestling's a byproduct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said the wrestling is yeah, exactly. The Americans are fascists. The fascism of wrestling comes from the fact that there's the fascists making it. It's not the
Yeah.
other way
It's
around.
a tool. It's a
Yeah,
medium and a
it's a
tool. And it's right now in the hands of some very bad people, but we can wield it too.
Yep.
We can wield it too. That's what I'm trying to
And
say.
yeah, no, and that was I really hope that people get that. I put recently a thing I posted recently on Blue Sky too. Is I had no soul. I can make so much money teaching Dems how to do Neokayfabe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but they would never go for the progress. Like the ones that have the money to pay me would never actually do the good shit. So I don't want to teach them. I don't want to teach the bad ones.
Right. The only
Yeah.
Dem I know who would listen to me about that is David Morales, but he knows more about
He
kayfabe
knows
than
it.
I.
Yeah,
Yeah, he already
yeah.
does it. So who cares? He doesn't have anything to learn from me about that.
I love how and that's why this show exists. Everything is wrestling because it's so apparent that all these people came to it at first principles and then discovered each other after. You, me, and like everybody. Like
Right.
we all figured this out. We all put this together. So yeah, Bugs, do you have anything to add before we get to
No,
the
this
plugging?
has been a phenomenal conversation. I've just kind of been
Well,
along for the
thank
ride.
you, y'all. That means so much to me. I had a great
So
time.
happy to have you. Oh my god.
Yeah. And I mean, we got a lot of stuff planned out, but we've already talked about how there's no reason there can't be sequels. Again, this is kind of just a platform for people I know too, if they
Great.
last episode, Arturo Garcia, wonderful journalist friend,
Yeah.
Lucha Libre aficionado, pitched
Sure.
me. He
Yeah.
came to me and he was like, no one will give me like space to write about Americano Gate. And I was like, please come say everything you want to say about it.
And thank God he did, because that was
Oh,
wild.
yeah, that shit was nuts. Yeah, folks, if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. So yeah, thank you so much for being here again.
Oh, I'm
This
so
is-
glad to be here. I just popped into the chat on this little conversation, the last wrestling piece by Richard Meltzer. If you have show
Yeah.
notes or anything, do link to
Yeah.
that, because it's a brilliant essay, and Richard is worthy of your attention. Vote David Morales if you live in Providence. And
Yeah.
I'm at josie.zone on the website. So
Hell yeah, good. You got your plugs. I didn't even have to ask. You're so fucking good at this, girl. Shit.
I do it a lot, okay? I wanted to save you
right.
the trouble.
And yeah, feel free to like send me any links and I can get them into the show notes. Bugs, do you want to plug anything?
You can find me wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Fucking A, right.
That's all I have to say on this.
You can find me at least once a week, usually with my pod children over at Wednesday Night Fake Fights, where me and Hampter Cerro and Erica the Length Warrens recap that week's Dynamite with just gay shit and body horror. There's a lot of body horror.
Yeah.
We do a lot of body horror and a lot of tangenting, and the ghost of George C. Scott's there. And
Yeah, he is.
oh my god! And I got him to do HRT on the pod once. That was fun. I had to do my shot. What do you got to? So yeah, come check that out. Listen to this pod. What's the other one that Josie was on? Oh my god! The most important election of our lives. I'm not on it. I
Yes.
just edited it. But Josie came on and did the most wonderful Wuthering Heights. Oh my god!
That's right. I sang Wuthering Heights on that one. That was good. I was very
That's
proud of that.
Incredible.
As you should be. Go find that. Otherwise, yeah, at GarrettTailor.com on Blue Sky. Find me, give me money. Find Bugs, give Bugs money. Find Josie. I don't know. You want to give Josie money? Give Josie money. I always tell people to give people money. And otherwise,
You don't give me money. Just pre-order my book, backbook.com.
boom, there you go.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. And I'm not even sure yet what the next episode will be, but we'll see you in 2 weeks with fucking something.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Yeah.
be fucking something in a few weeks.
Oh, goodbye, folks.